next guitar we're going to talk about is a T3, and this is looks kind of similar to the guitar that Wayne just got done playing, but it's completely different actually. This instrument does not live in the acoustic world. This is a full-on electric guitar, whereas the T5s that both I played a minute ago and then Wayne just got done playing, those are completely hollow, and that's why he was saying that it's kind of fun just to sit unplugged with that guitar or sit on the couch, and you can get enough sound out of that thing by itself without any amplifier. But this is a guitar that has a solid center block that runs through the middle, chambered sides. It's got a maple top and a sapele back and sides. 2 humbucking pickups. You can get it either with a Bigsby vibrato or a stop tailpiece. You have the ability to split the coils on the humbuckers. You also have 2 different tone circuits available. So again, in sort of Bob fashion, this is a guitar that you haven't really heard before. It looks familiar, right? We're familiar with the guitar that looks like this, but nothing ever sounded like this before. And these are Taylor pickups. I'm just going to go through a few sounds here. I'm just going to hit some random stuff, see what happens. So on an instrument like this, you would expect to be able to get a nice warm, I think, jazz sound. And the way you would do this on this guitar, like I said, there's 2 different tone circuits. The first one is accessed just by simply pulling this button out, and it works like a normal tone control. Works like a normal tone control in that it's really just a high-pass filter. You know, a tone control. As you turn it on, when it's all the way on 10. You're hearing the most high end you're going to hear on the guitar, and as you start to turn it back, you sort of lose your high end a little bit. It gets darker. So by pulling that tone pot out and then turning it back, you get a nice warm sound, right? So you kind of expect that from a guitar that looks like this, but I don't know that you expect that it sounds like this. It's because you have the ability to split the humbuckers and turn them into single coils simply by pulling this pot out. So in essence what it does is it takes a big fat sound of the humbucker and then thins it out. Makes a little bit more high end come out, so if you want that kind of funky, you can get it on a guitar that's a hollow body, and you don't usually see that, right? So the guitar has a really nice warm sound. It has the clean sound. Also capable of just good rock and roll stuff. The other tone circuit that this has that's really interesting is available actually on all our solid body guitars. And this is a little bit different. It works like a normal tone pot for maybe the first 3/4 of the rotation as you turn it back. But then when it's all the way off, it sort of peaks the mid-range. So you end up with a sound that sort of sounds like a wah-wah pedal that's on but half cocked. And it's a familiar sound, but it's real nasally. You've heard it on lots, you've heard it before. Real honky, nasally, sounds great with a slide. Other examples It's kind of like a razor sound, right? It's all honky. Good sounding guitar. The other thing that's a little bit different about this guitar is that we've paired for the first time Bigsby with a different kind of bridge. You know, it's always a challenge with the guitar with a vibrato bar to keep it in tune, right? But what's different about this is that each one of these strings actually sits on a wheel, so that when you move the bar, it actually is, the strings are sitting on a wheel that rotate. It makes it very easy for the whole tremolo to return to zero. So you can do all your favorite Bigsby abilities. It's just fun to do that, right? You can sit around doing that for a couple hours. Thinking about black sand, volcanoes.
Roll the video, please.
But what's also cool about this guitar, I'm just going to find one more cool sound on this thing, and that's if you go down to this humbucker and you split it, it's all good for the western. All your James Bond licks. It's just fun to play this guitar, that's all there is to it. And if you don't like the Bigsby, you can get it with a stop tail piece. Any questions? T3? That was a quick little run through, but...
Right here. See you, brother. Go ahead. Yeah, you. Stand up.
So, I'm going to regress real quick to the acoustic. You guys cast out Elixir strings. Does anybody else here, when they play, I got, the Nano Web, Hollywood, is there another brand? They're good. Is there any brand anybody else uses that has the same similar sound and playing?
No. Not really. Dario did make a coated string of their own, but the secret with the Elixir is they take the string, they wrap it, and they dip it in this Gore-Tex material. What Dario did is they took the string, they took the wound, they dipped the wound, and then they wrapped the string. So a lot of guys have always asked, well, what happens when the Gore-Tex between the wraps starts to break down? So it's one of those plug-and-play type deals. There really isn't anything comparable to an Elixir at this point.
But that's a good question, because what do you like? It's really, that's what we put on our guitars from the factory, and we put them on because they sound the same for a really long time. And Elixirs last a really long time, right? But we all hear differently, you should, that's the easiest way to customize your guitar, right? Change strings, because they all sound a little bit different.
Take one more. Stand up in the back. Say one more time. Pick guard on which one, bud?
On this one?
No. No pick guards available yet for the T5 or the T3. Great question, though. We're working on it. There's always, we got to eat next year. Wait till we come out with the tuba. It's going to be awesome.